All right, can anybody hear us? Well, it says 0 watching. Let's give it just a few minutes, let everybody kind of filter in.
Yeah, that's cool. I was looking for the original of this. I made a screenshot on Twitter regarding all the issuers out there looking to, get a ETF going. This from Bloomberg. It lists, it's just a bunch of guys trying to get in. First Trust, Dan, DCK. There's some big companies at Dexron, ProShares. All these have First Trust, Inverse, and regular, kind of what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Last time we did it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming out of the woodwork. But a lot of them are, there's a few that are withdrawn. I guess they got halfway through and decide they want to get their paperwork a little bit better, rather than being denied.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That doesn't really look good.
Mm-mm.
So a lot of withdrawn for now, quote unquote, and then waiting for approval. But yeah, all the Drexon, ETS, and I don't know if they're the biggest, but they're one of the biggest. They already have ETFs on anything and everything. You could have 2 raindrops rolling down a window, and they probably have an ETF on it, which one?
Right.
Hit the bottom first. But, yeah, I thought since that's kind of a hot topic right now, everybody's kind of, smoking that hopium that
yeah.
will blow up. I thought we might hit on it and kind of get the background on ice and, the under his wife. How far back really they got to get all that together? They've done some homework.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Yeah, those guys already have a crooked tracker, so you're...
Hey, wait a second here. I got, let's see, the SWS. Joe sounds a little quiet. Let me see here. Let me turn the gain up a little bit. Okay, go ahead and speak, Joe. And then, guys, let us know if you can hear Joe okay after I did that.
Okay, is this better? Oh, that's better or worse, but anyway.
Yeah, it's like a 5-second delay or so before they get it. So let's see what somebody says. Okay, better. So Crypto Roger said, I know you can reset BTC to 20,000 with all your chart magic. I'll give you some Digibyte if you reset it now. Hey, we would love to, Roger. We really would. Everybody likes a bull market better than a bear one, I'll tell you that right now. All right, so guys, just a real quick thank you to everybody coming in so far, and I know some people are still filtering in. I am CryptoFib, and I'm with CryptoChartsJoe. We're going to go over some things about the current state of the market, look at Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and a few other chart requests. Just so you guys know, and this is a disclaimer, we are not financial advisors, okay? This is talk. So make sure to do your own research before making any investment decisions, okay? I know everybody likes to follow everybody and do what they do, but it's always good practice to make sure you do your own research, okay? So we want to put that out there. So with that said, I'm going to get started with Joe here. It looks like he's got a Bitcoin chart up. So Joe, take her away, buddy.
Oh, thanks, JR. Thanks everyone for coming this evening. Right quick, let me just go ahead and pull up the weekly, pretty much everything. As you can see, we're below major moving averages. However, we have made a little run up, and then we have a little pullback here, and that's considered, as long as we don't breach, the support area down here, as long as we stay, I'd say, probably 6,400 above this candle bottom here, that's considered a higher low. I know that kind of sounds weird, but in reverse, how it works. Well, let me show you a higher low. It made a low here, and you went up high, and you made a low there, but that low is higher than this low. And this low is higher than that low. So anyway, that's what we're trying to eke out of here. I know we're, looking at, just a few dollars difference, but that can make a big difference, actually. So anyway, we're trying to, keep as we can. Then hopefully by the end of the week, first of next week, we can start coming out and trying to get over some of these moving averages. That's what's going to save us. We need to get, the same trending back up, obviously, in the opposite direction. And then with your daily, and actually, let me go ahead and put the lines in here. Just right quick, I know this is just a bunch of animal days to you, but we have this uptrend line that's forming this wedge, okay? So that's going to be a little bit of a support, hopefully, a little bit of a resistance there, or, well, let me just call it support for now. Then we have two high pivot areas here. Where it tried to get up and over and couldn't for a few days here, and then a few days here, and then right here it blanked out the last big rally, and then this one came down and bounced off of. So bottom line is 68.50. I'm just going to call it 68.50 right here is going to be a support. So maybe worst case scenario, if that 50, and if you've been reading any of my tweets, that 50-day moving average is, it's a big kind of, I guess you might as well say, line in the sand that we really would be positive if we could keep over that. And worst case scenario, we come down here, hit these two support areas around that, 67.50 area, but 6,800 is really what we want to stay above and try to get this thing going. And last year, Jack and I earlier, before we got on here live, and last year, any news that came out, it would drive this market crazy. I mean, we'd go up 10, 15, 20 points minimum about anything and everything. But this year's a little bit different. So, the conspiracy is, there's some big hands keeping that beach ball under the water, but how long can they hold it there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Until everybody gets loaded up, or, talking about the institutional investors and stuff. And, I hate to keep going back to that, but there has to be a little bit of something to that scenario that big boys are coming in to play the game. And speaking of which a lot of people are looking for this particular type of news is regarding coming out saying, okay, this particular company has been blessed by the SEC to do the Bitcoin ETFs. Okay, the top guy on the list right now is ICE, the Intercontinental Exchange, and here's their little web page here. As you can pull up, I have a lot of good information on here. Just put in Bitcoin up here in search, and one of the things you're going to come up with is this subject to regulatory approval, and they're going to do the futures as well, not just the ETF. So I don't know if that was out there. I don't know if they do that, but they're getting in on sides of it. Now let's talk about ICE for a minute here. One of the biggest exchanges, they own New York Stock Exchange. You might have heard of that one. So,
yes, exactly.
I mean, they're a serious player in the market. And there was an article in Forbes, real in-depth article. It probably took them 2 or 3 days camping out with them to get that article written as in-depth as it was. So they went back in the history, and I won't bore you all with that, but the 2 people that the primary CEO and stock owners and everything of it. Anyway, as early as 2015, okay, 2015, these guys were already like well versed in cryptos. As a matter of fact, they bought a minority stake in the largest U.S.-based marketplace for digital currencies, which everybody raise your hand, Coinbase. So maybe we're already in the game, and so I'm thinking, a year or two before that, because they had to do all their homework, due diligence. So maybe around 2010, 2012, they were already thinking about this and planning and scheming.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, no doubt.
To get this going, yeah. Now, what's kind of concerning, you might have seen my tweet about that. It's great. Hey, they're getting in the game. They're going to, they're going to be a clearinghouse. And kind of use an analogy. Let's say JR is the guy that holds all the Bitcoins in his neighborhood. And then between neighbors and friends and family, they're trading back and forth, buying and selling. And he's managing it. He's giving, this guy so many Bitcoin for so much money that he's, selling it to this guy for so much money. Anyway, he's basically a small exchange in his neighborhood. Now, what they're going to do, they have to hold so much Bitcoin. I don't know if that's, 50 Bitcoin or 50,000 Bitcoin. I don't know really what. But I imagine it's going to be a whole lot because they're huge, trillions of dollars running through that thing a year, with all the things they had to do with that is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the company within the company is going to be handling all that is called BACK, B-A-K-K-T. And now this, you need to listen to this part. This is the most important part. They're going to control, as long as they control a big share of the market, they would only need to report a teeny sliver of the transactions to the blockchain so that they could keep off the blockchain and they'd be able to operate, according to them, at warp speed. So you have to buy a whole lot of Bitcoin to control the market. And if you control the market in such a way that you can keep your exchange running with other, and we're talking other institutional investors, they're not opening this up for, people like myself or JR or whoever. They're opening this up for big-time hedge funds, mutual funds, those people to legally, get the cryptos in and out to their retail clients, hands and, make them feel good. Everybody wants to get in the game,
Right.
So, but, they'll say, whoever owns the gold makes the rules. So that's my only little concern with it. I haven't really seen a lot of clarification of that, and if they're, been in this game and thinking about it since 2010, 2012, now 2015, it's documented that's when they bought in to Coinbase, a minority stake. So, there's a few years there already they, been able to, accumulate or what have you, for their long-range plans.
Well,
but anyway.
Well, here, real quick. I mean, I'm looking at your article that you got up, and here's the biggest thing, guys, is it's going to take, in parentheses, Joe has right here, subject to regulatory approval. So basically where we're waiting on the SEC to come out and do some regulation, which I think will be a good thing. That'll make Bitcoin more legitimate, right? And less risky for those that want to get into it, because right now, as everybody knows, I mean, it's a very manipulated market. And if I'm a guy that wants to think about this as a potential retirement option, then I'm not going to get into it. I mean, it's too up and down and too volatile, and it's just... And so we need regulatory approval first, and then we can start making some headwinds, But I've got this feeling. We'll see what happens on August 10th. I've heard some people say it's pushed off until August 16th. I haven't actually verified that. But the SEC is going to take their time and get the house in order, so to speak, before anything really just major takes off. So that's my view on it.
And I don't think the SEC wants mud thrown in their face if the whole thing blows up. I don't think any of these guys want fingers pointing to them saying, "Hey, you messed up."
Oh, exactly right. They're going to cover their butt.
Goose, type thing.
Yeah.
And kind of on a, I don't know, off-topic deal, there was an article the other day. Anyway, I'm trying to think where I read it from, but and people have been saying this for a while, and I mean, it's the truth. When you buy a stock like Apple, Google, Facebook, whatever, you no longer get a certificate of stock ownership. They don't send you the certificate numbers, the serial numbers or whatever.
Not like the old days. Exactly right.
Yeah. So they're hypothecated, so to speak. And for every share you own, there's probably 5 to 10 other people that own the same share.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what, when things are dumped, they're dumped hard. And so anyway, it can move the market real hard one way or the other. So that's why I hope that they are requiring some sort of holding of the real, currency, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
Bitcoin or whatever.
No doubt.
Of the coins to legitimize everything. And at the same time, whether it's manipulated or not, I think there's going to be huge money to be made in the next number of years. And the reason why I say that is that this is a whole new playing field for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And all the ICOs, all the new blockchain companies and everything else, it's just going to be unbelievable. And I'm not sitting here hyping it up or anything else. I'm just saying, looking at it, if you look at it just from a Wall Street greed, what can we do? How high can we blow this thing up type deal? Because everything Wall Street touches, they've blown up into a bubble. I mean, name one thing,
sure.
For every market they're involved in.
Yeah.
Housing market, you name it, mortgage. Yeah, they've blown up to a bubble. And I sure hope they do it with these cryptos, to be honest with you. And there's going to be certain ones that are going to be, Wall Street darlings, so to speak. Your Facebooks, your Amazons, your Googles, Netflix, a few pharmaceuticals, Merck or whatever. Wall Street has their pits.
Oh yeah, it's just a matter of time before, once we get an ETF, that's going to create a basket, so to speak, of coins under it. Right?
Exactly.
That's how ETFs work, guys, is that ETFs, you got your ETF, and then you've got the stocks that make it up under it. So how they're going to do that and how they're going to, make this happen still remains to be seen, and which coins are they going to be. So what you're looking at right now, you want to take a look at the ones that are outperforming despite the drop that we've had. But lately it's been like, these other altcoins, they've been getting hammered lately. I mean, they are actually getting hammered. But there are a few exceptions. ETC is one of them because of the news. But it's just a matter of time, guys. It's, it's going to be great down the road. We just got to get some regulation going and then get an ETF, and all that stuff takes time. So don't expect like 20,000 tomorrow or anything like that. I always tell everybody, you're coming out of a bear market. It's not going to just spike out of nowhere and go a lot higher. There's too much resistance overhead. So we want to see a nice little stair-step pattern and get out of the, and it starts by making new highs, right? So, and right now we haven't made a lower low yet. So that's what we're watching. So, all right, Joe. Well, so we've had we got the nice little discussion on that. Let's look at some charts for these guys. I know they're probably all anxious about it. So let's take a look, see what we got.
And then there was some from today on Twitter that wanted some of these with Tron, Bitcoin, DigiBuy, ETH, ADA. The only one I wasn't too sure about was OCN. Somebody wanted to see that. But let me finish up with a little Bitcoin right here, right now. As you can see, you know, I guess by the dippers that come in, I guess Asian markets open whatever at 7 p.m. Central Time. And as you can see right here, on the hourly chart, we're trying to get up over all the moving averages. You know, so we might have another run to 7,100.
That's a nice, by the way, Joe, that's a nice little reversal pattern you got down there. Right there.
Yeah.
Those 3 candles, that's a reversal pattern right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with that one right here. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we'll see. I don't know. What was the low today? We still haven't really hit 6,800 flat.
No.
You know, the low today looked like it was 68.40. I mean, we're getting there, but $40. So until we break it, I'm still going to have my pom-poms out, hoping we do a little reversal here.
Well, I just real quick, I just want to throw my chart over there real quick. So this is a 4-hour Bitcoin chart, okay? And if you'll notice, the green line, that was the area we were having trouble getting through. And so what's happening here, not only do we have the uptrend line, and I think I circled this on a couple of my Twitter charts. I think I circled this area when it was way back here. And I was like, are we going down to here? Well, we're here. And so this area has got to hold, period. End of story, period. It's got to hold. If it does not, then we're coming down here, and then we're more than likely coming down here to around 6,000. So this area right here has got to hold. And right now, the way that EMAs are looking, I mean, they're you know, we want to get past the 20, which has been resistance there, resistance up here, all the way down. So if we can break this 20 EMA and get above it, that'll be a good sign. So, you know, right now, and then not only that, but, you know, I'm no Elliott wave expert, but I've seen people, you know, that know Elliott. And what they say is that we've got a, you know, wave here. We got to move down for a 2. You got this big impulsive move up here for a 3, right? And so you come down here, and this is a very important area for them because wave 4 is a correction wave, and it cannot violate wave 1. And so wave 1 would be right here. So that's why that line is in there, because they're saying that if it holds it, then it's going to 8,800 to 9,000. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But there's so many variables to it. I'm just throwing it out there, but that's kind of how I see it as well.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I've heard those. Yeah, you're on. Yeah, I've heard those numbers as well. Only I got to say, everybody, I mean, shock and awe to get past. It's going to be tough to get past that 200. Might as well say at 8,300. Because you're going to have that double top, this top here, that high pivot there, and then might as well say the 200. It might be coming out a little bit lower by then. And then you have this down trend line going back, you know, to March, 1st of March.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see. It's going to take,
And by the way, Joe, that was a great call on the 200 EMA. That I remember you posting about that. That was a great call because that was the top.
Yeah. Well, But thanks. But anyway, we'll go from there. The next, if you don't mind me jumping the gun.
No, go ahead.
All the talk of the town right now is about the only one that's green. It's ETC, the Ethereum Classic. Now, it's a new day right now. It just, because 7 o'clock, our time, so 24 minutes, this candle right where my pointer is has been blowing, and here we go. There's that 200 again. We'll see. It should blow through it because it's so close to it now. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
If the price was down here and the 200 is up there, then your odds are that it's going to bounce back. But okay, a couple of things about ETH, Ethereum. But anyway, Ethereum Classic, ETC. Okay, first thing about it, which I thought was kind of funny, Robinhood, the exchange, and they were in, stocks for a long while before they got into cryptos. But anyway, they have a larger customer base, retail base, than even Coinbase. And Coinbase is, kind of like Coca-Cola or GM, Ford, back in the day, the cars. Anyway, they're kind of the first guys, on the block, the biggest name recognition company. One of it's not the most downloaded app on Apple. Anyway, Robinhood did an in-round on them and came out with ETC on their exchange today, supposedly a day ahead of Coinbase. So hopefully Coinbase will come out either tonight, midnight, or sometime tomorrow with ETC. I think I said ETH, but anyway, ETC, Ethereum Classic. So I thought that was interesting. So Coinbase is a guy that everyone's trying to take, he's the world champion, so to speak, and everybody's out to, reigning champ, everybody's out to dethrone him. So I think that's good for the retailers,
I agree. The more competition, the better. That means lower fees.
Yeah.
Lower fees for everybody.
Exactly.
That's the key.
Coinbase has been, really grinding people with those exorbitant fees and things. But also what I'm getting at is that, as soon as Coinbase announces it, I'm sure we'll get a pop from it. But the first resistance, and we'll see how this plays out. I think the first resistance is going to be around this $25. Not doing it calculated by TradingView, Ethereum Classic to the dollar.
Right.
A lot of people do it, pairing with any other coins out there. But I just look at the dollar because it's just easier to talk about. So this high pivot. So we'll see how it plays out.
Well, it's definitely been more profitable from the BTC pair with the BTC drop. So.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'll put that up in a minute. Yeah, they're going to be profit-taking gear because all those people, that bought on the way up, they're going to be looking to sell there. And then right here, you see all these tails here, people taking profit or selling out or what have you. You just couldn't get back over this slump at $38. And of course, that was back, the first of the year. But anyway, it's off. And then I don't want to get into this, let out to you over your kind of a time count here as well. But anyway, that's my spill on ETC. If you want to take a risk, try to get in it tonight. If you're not already in it, more power to you. But once this thing starts running pretty hard and they're making these big candles, I don't know if I want to chase it really. So
well, the thing is that look, and I see your RSI is real. It's getting up to it's getting close. Yeah. It's getting there, but and not only that, but I had a chart. It's outside the Bollinger Bands right now. Trading wise.
Okay.
And so it normally price does not stay outside the Bollinger Bands very, very long at all. So, but who knows? This could be the exception on this one. But I'm just saying, caution advised, guys. Always prepare for some sort of pullback. Nothing goes just straight up all the time. So,
if you can see here, I drew it up where you're talking about ETC to Bitcoin. The pairing. So in other words, you go in with Bitcoin, for people kind of new, you go in with Bitcoin, and then you buy your Ethereum Classic with Bitcoin. That's on Bitrix. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're coming up to this little high pivot here.
Yeah.
So I don't know, you might be able to run up to however many Satoshis that is. Yeah, about 38.
Yeah.
Yeah, 38,000, whatever. So that's definitely going to be a little bump here. So if you're already in, more power to you. But you know what I'm saying? That's just scary to get into something that's at 1, 2,
It really is. I totally agree, Joe. Unless you're already in and you got in at a good price, then you don't chase this. I'm sorry. That's my view, my opinion. I think me and you are on the same page on that deal. It's wait for a pullback. See what the pullback looks like and wait for that, But, man, chasing it right now, that's kind of scary. Kind of scary.
Yeah, and I was, just sitting here in front of everybody, I was trying to see if there's any anything, we could lock in on. I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe a back test of that trend line.
Well, that's smart. That's what I was thinking. If it comes back, hits this, and then bounces off this, let's put a second mortgage on the house on that one and get in.
Exactly. Right.
Because those are always money makers, right?
Oh,
there.
yeah. No doubt.
So, what we're talking about, guys, is that it'll blow through a huge down trend line. What is this one? June, July. Oh, wow, it's June, July.
That's last year.
Last year. Man, oh, my goodness. Oh, I might have to rethink this, Jared.
Well, if you scroll back and you look at it, look at the, back here, you had the double bottom, right? And then you had a nice little basing. And then you had a nice little bottoming action right here. Came back down, and then over here, now you got another double bottom right there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, it's going to pull back at some point, guys, just like Bitcoin did when it made its double bottom. It pulls back a little bit, and that's your entry when it pulls back. Because at some point, it's going to come back, and it's going to meet the moving averages. It will not go all the way up here before these catch up. Now, I could be totally wrong, but I'm just going off experience.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that and anticipation and stuff, anyway, we didn't talk about this really over the last couple of days or before the live stream. We were visiting on a couple of things, but do you want to break the news now? Because we're kind of talking about, when to get in, how to get in, and we were going to...
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, guys. So, what I'll do...
Hold on. Goldman Sachs wants in on this conference call.
Sure they do, right? Okay, so basically, we've got there's a couple of things going on, okay? Is that we're working on a website that's in progress, okay? And it will be free. It will be donation accepted only, okay? So if you don't like our stuff and you're not making money off of it, you don't have to donate. If you make money and you still feel like you don't want to donate, then you don't have to. It's up to you if you want to donate or not. So this is not going to be a paid subscription channel. This is me and Joe and some others that are going to be spending our time trying to help the new traders out there. Now, until the website is complete, we will actually let you into our Telegram channel. And I will get that link for you right now. Let me copy it.
And while JR is doing that, the way we see the website when it's up and running, there'll be, everyday updated charts, on the top coins, at least the top 10 market cap. And then any special ones that we see might be up and coming runners. And not only market cap, but also fundamentals and sentiment. There's some coins out there, which ones I'm talking about. People are really high on it, just has a high sentiment. They're kind of the most popular kid in school, so they're going to get all the votes, from Mr. and Miss, popularity, whatever. And we can make money off of those just as well as we can with the ones that have the best fundamentals ever, and or the ones that have the best, technical analysis chart set up. So basically, we're going to have just the basic charts, and then we're going to have a trade call portion, so you can go in and see the setups that are developing and be able to get in on those as they are developing, and basically buy and sell zones. We'll set that up. So look for basically a turnkey operation type thing. You log in and keep up to date, and then maybe one Saturday a month we might throw out there a little live stream seminar type deal going over candle patterns and setups, support resistance, just different things about the chart, just one thing at a time, and let you work on it for about a month, just get those reps in and get it down, and then we'll go to the next level.
Yeah.
So, anyway, okay, JR, that was kind of my spiel.
Cool. So I posted in the channel, guys, our Telegram link and where you can get in, and then obviously once you get in there, we'll get you into the calls channel. But right now you would be able to have access to just basic crypto discussion. A lot of guys have fun in there. We post news. A lot of discussion going on there, and then we've got the chart discussion and learning center. And so me and Joe will be posting charts in there from time to time, and kind of trying to teach you guys some things and what to look for. So anyway, that's in there for you guys, and so I guess what we'll do is we'll just kind of go on with the charts. So
yeah, sounds good. Is
hey,
there any
real quick, Joe? I'm sorry to interrupt. Let me just kind of go back in the comments section and make sure I'm not missing anything. Crypto Roger said he heard of at least 2 companies buying $250 million US dollars worth of Bitcoin, but not seeing anything in the price point to reflect these purchases.
no, they buy them on the OTC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not buying them retail. They're buying them from the exchanges
Sure.
themselves.
Oh, yeah. And then, let's see, what else we got here. Okay, Roger said, thought August 10th, 40 days. Yeah, and Roger, until something else is announced, I think that's good. I just pointed out what I saw today. Somebody said it was delayed till the 16th, but I don't know if that's factual or not. Roger also says DGB, LTC, and Silver all on life support. Well, I think, in my own view, I think Digibyte has actually held up pretty well when it's compared to other altcoins out there. I'll just throw that out there.
Yeah, being, under 10 cents, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Penny deals, yeah, but we'll cover that in more detail. That was on the list of what people wanted to see.
Absolutely.
Hear about.
Yeah. So, with all that said, let's, you know what? Now's a good time as any. Let's just take a look at LTC.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Or do you want to look at ADA? You got Cardano on there. You want to look at it real quick?
Just right quick.
Yeah.
A lot of people are asking about it. Anyway, we're still below this long-term trend line. As soon as it goes up, comes back, tests it, and then blows, we're good. Good point is, right now we're still holding this, I guess you can call it double bottom, but this little pivot here, if that drops, then we'll for sure come down here and retest this bottom. But for right now, this sideways consolidation, that's really not bad. I mean, it's better than dropping to the bottom here.
No, I made a call on it the other day. I made a long call on it, and it still stands. I mean, you can be in and have your stop at 1720. That's on the BTC pair.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I made the call off of, was the BTC pair.
I think really you're only 2 cents off. I mean,
yeah.
I think worst case scenario would be 10 cents right here. Mm-hmm. This, think how many traders are going to see that from, last year and just have huge buy orders in here at 10 cents. I mean, you'd be crazy enough to buy at that point, but anyway.
Well, and I'll just throw up, here's mine just real quick. Oop, forgive the picture of my girlfriend. Let's see. She is cute though. You gotta love her. I mean, she's really cute. Let's see. All right, so this is what I've got on ADA. This is the daily chart. And so what I was basing the call off of was this reversal pattern right here. And it got confirmed with the next candle. Now, I have been expecting a pullback fairly soon. And right here is the area where it should pull back from. Now, today it hit the 38.2 retracement. And it's trying to come off of that, and we've got the 10 EMA that is still holding right here. So what we want to see is the 10 EMA start to curl up and then get above the 20. The only worries, though, is that our stochastic RSI is starting to get up there a little bit, okay? But this is a big area. The red line, that's the 127.2, and it's also the old support, which is now new resistance line. And there's a confluence of things going on right there. You got the 20 EMA, you got that line, you got the 127.2 retracement. So the 1940 area is going to be some pretty tough little, resistance to get through. So don't expect it to just rocket right through it right now. Now it could, but I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting that maybe over the next 1 to 2 days we kind of consolidate in this area a little bit and hold the 10 EMA before making higher prices. So that is my thoughts on Cardano.
Gotcha.
And so I'm going to throw yours back up there, Joe.
Yeah, no, thanks. Okay, then we'll move over here to Litecoin. That's surely a crowd favorite. Okay, I still have this falling wedge, descending wedge in play. Yesterday, I thought it was going to blow out of here. This red candle was green all the way to the top, but, power's bigger than me, pulled it back. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, starting 4 days, sideways consolidation. Maybe we can get over to the side next couple of days and pop out of it. But, hopefully we can without coming down too deep. I like for us to be able to hold 70.
Yes.
That sounds bad, right? Yeah.
72 has got a hold. To me,
okay.
Yeah. Or I kind of like your 70.
Yeah,
I mean, it could.
Down here in the 60s. I already had that little line.
Yeah, it could wick. It could wick down to 70. It could, but boy, it sure would be nice to see it double bottom right here and then take off. But
right, but that is right here. You see that green line? That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly where the price is.
Yep.
And it's not bad at all. Really, over here in this, congestion. But anyway, I mean, there you have it. I think we're going to need. I think we're going to need. And I think we will get, some strong fundamental news coming out of it, before year end, or really probably first part of the fall. The way, different folks have been talking that know, a lot more about behind the scenes, with Litecoin than we do.
Mm-hmm.
But also then a couple of guys were asking about, let's see, ENG.
You know what? Real quick. I'm sorry, Joe. Real quick. Crypto Roger.
Yeah.
And while we're on it, let's go ahead and pull up DGB because he's saying
that's fine.
he's got 100,000 DGB, a decent bag. Should he go bigger? And I'll just answer that real quick. No, not right now. Okay, 100,000 is enough. Okay, and I've told people this time and time again. You can swing trade DGB all day long. I mean, and I'm not saying like every day, but you can swing trade it. Look at it.
Yeah, get on average.
Yeah, look at it. It swings. It makes highs. It makes lows. Swing it until you get your capital back, and then just let the free stuff ride. That's what I've always told people. Is like, yeah. So I know it's easier said than done, but don't ever just fall in love with something and throw all your money at it. Okay? Never, ever, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, when Digibyte looks like it's doing kind of the same thing, just consolidating here sideways. The only kind of concerning deal, that 200's coming down and possibly going to cross down below the 50. The 50 is the green. You want all these moving averages on top of one another. The 12 on top of just like you have right here, But anyway, that's concerning. At the same time, if you get a little bit of volume in here, you know, somebody, you know, pulls the lever, yeah, you can pop over all this real quick.
Oh,
just
yeah.
like this. That's one day of trading right there, and that would get you over. And, you know, any bit of good news, I'll bet that could happen. And then again, you know, as like before, I don't know if I still have it. But anyway, I had this line going across the top at about 5 cents, like 5 cents this year. I mean, that's the demon that's keeping you down.
Yeah.
But each time it hits it, it weakens it. Would you agree, JR?
I totally agree.
3,
Yeah.
4, 5. I think the 4th or 5th time it hits it, it's a done deal. Then we'll go to all-time highs.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I totally agree.
You know, so you could double your money right there. Yeah, basically you're going to double your money. As soon as it breaks, comes back to this, and it blows up. Yeah, it's almost a guarantee. I didn't say that, but that's, you know, really 5 cents to 12 cents.
Well, and if you want to look at it on a bigger scale, it could take a while to play out, but that could almost be like an inverted head and shoulders.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
shoulder, head. I mean, it doesn't look perfect, but, you know, but it's something that's a possibility.
Yeah, that would even be more crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it had a lot, the longer you're in this trading zone, as soon as it blows one way or the other, that's just more juice, you know, behind the pump.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
it's my view.
Really,
it's my view. Somebody is accumulating in this zone.
That's what
they are accumulating in that zone.
You know, flow. Yeah. So really, you know, I'd take that back. 12 cents, whatever, is probably nothing. I mean, it'll probably get. I mean, really, just off of that, it could probably get into the 20s and 30s.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah, I mean,
20, 30 cents.
That's still a ways in the future, guys. Unless some sort of magical news comes out that they've got some deal with some bank or somebody accepts them as, you know,
cancer or something.
Yeah. Cure cancer.
So, did you buy cures cancer? Yeah, that might do it. Okay, and then anything in there? I have.
Okay.
I got ETH. We did Digify.
Okay, so let's see. I'm looking back. Let me just put this out there, guys. Do you have any questions so far? Before we go on, do y'all have any questions or want to know anything?
Yeah, I had. Well, in the meantime, while you're doing that, Enigma, ENG, someone on Twitter want to know about that. It looks, man, if I didn't know better, at first I thought that was like Bitcoin or something. So it's just kind of trading with Bitcoin, Litecoin. I mean, it even has this long dip like Litecoin. That's pretty sad when you look at some of these charts. You can match them up with other charts.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That looks like. So that's whoever asked for ENG on Twitter today. There you go. And OCN. There was only 2 kind of left field ones here and then that one. I don't know what they got going on. Odyssey, OCN, but as you can see, I mean, I'm not a, you know.
Yeah, that's ugly.
I don't know. I got above this bottom right here. You know, they're trying to make a little bit of a support. I at least wait until it got up here. I don't even know if that's not even a penny yet, like 6 tenths. Anyway, I'd wait until it got up in this direction. So
absolutely.
Anyway,
That's an ugly chart.
Then ETH, the next major one someone was asking today was the ETH. You know, I drew this a while back, I don't know, a week ago or whatever. Anyway, dropped through, again, consolidating. That, I mean, you squint your eyes, you can make that maybe a little bit of a bull flag, but I'm not even going to go there. I don't know. You got to see where the least low pivot, double bottom, etc.
Well, so we got a question, and I'll go ahead and throw my here's my ETH chart real quick. There we go. All right, so that's Ethereum on the daily chart, and I've got this wedge right here. That's a falling wedge. Okay, and you can see that RSI is bottoming. Stock RSI is bottoming. Now this could go one of two different ways. It breaks down lower and comes over here to where Joe was talking about, and we make a double bottom. That's at 380, or no, 360, 357, I think is where I've got my fib, the 161.8. But it's holding the 127.2 right now. So for now, that's support. But you got the 10 and the 20 EMAs hooking down, and it's got to get past those to stop the downward Momo. So that's what I've got on Ethereum. And then Vikram was asking, JR, I frequently look at EMAs for TA and time frames. What are the best time frames for referring EMAs? So Vikram, that's an easy answer. It depends on your trading style, right? Are you a day trader? Or are you a swing trader? Or are you long term? That determines what you're looking at. Okay, you can look at EMAs on any time frame, but it just depends on what your trading style is. And so, I mean, that's kind of what I got to say about that. It's just depends on the type of trader you are. And then Joe, Vikram's also got a question about EOS USD. You want to pull that one up and take a look at it real quick?
Yeah.
That's been a popular one.
Okay, what was that, D?
EOS.
Oh, EOS. Okay.
Yeah, on the USD pair.
Okay. And I'm sorry, you want it for dollar?
Yeah, dollar.
Pair?
Yeah,
Okay.
dollar pair.
Gotcha. All right, here we go. It's like it's consolidating here. I mean, that's a pretty strong little. Honestly, right there, that's pretty. Yeah, you can see a lot of support, a little bit of resistance here. It blew through it, so it's possible support. I mean, it's hanging on pretty good. If it did fall, it'd probably come back here. But yeah, I think it's by design that it's holding right there. I guess they're just trying to hang on until some news comes out, or they can get the price pumping for some reason. Let me see if we.
There you go.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now if that comes out, comes back, and then blows up, that'd be sweet. Yeah, you might have a chance at all-time highs again. Yeah, that's not bad.
No, it sure isn't.
You put this here just to see what it's sitting on, and it's sitting on a lot of support right now. And then this will be your resistance coming down this blue. So what you're looking for, what you're hoping for, is to come up like that, and then maybe I don't know if I can do that. Yeah. Anyway, come back, touch it, and then go back up.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of what you're talking. That's what we'd like to see. Best case scenario, or maybe not even that high up in the retest, but majority of the time it does go up for whatever reason, then comes back and retest it. Some people will say, well, it's kind of a head fake, by the big boys that got in late. They'll, run it down, get those stop losses. They'll buy those stop losses of people that think, oh no, I did wrong. It was a head fake, and then they'll sell out.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get the cheap shares, and then right when you think it's going lower, they'll turn it, run it back up. And I'll have to start keeping inside a few of those so people know, what they look like, because that's anyway, a good way of, there's some people that only play that, you know what I mean? So,
oh, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But, okay. What's the take?
Okay, guys, any other chart requests? Anything you guys can think about? Sure, we'll get somebody that'll ask something here.
If not, let me see. I was TRX. Somebody's asking about Tron.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Tron, yeah.
So let me throw that up there. Let me shrink it down and see. So going back to December, it's in this sideways consolidation little channel here, which is not bad. And the bottom blue line right here is your support. So again, as long as it holds support, I mean, you're looking good. Powers be just holding it right there. Unless one of those big guys decide to, get impatient and sell out, then it'll drop through it, which you don't want, but, that's a possibility. And then, you can be off to the races, and I don't know how that's going to look. Let me throw that back there. I don't know how many years ago I put that there. Well, it must not have been that long, because just this part it traded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's one. Yeah, this is a falling wedge formation. You've heard us talk about that a million times. It broke out. It basically retest where it broke out, but it couldn't get any traction, and it failed. And generally when they fail big. So I'm surprised it's, holding up here. But then again, you look, there's been a lot of support come in at that level.
Yes.
For it. Basically, it had been below this blue line since it got above it. Now, that's weird. Not weird, but that's pretty good. Once it got above it, I mean, its price drifted below, but they've pretty much tried to hold it above it. I mean, this did. But anyway, you see what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Go back to the scene of the crime. So anyway, what I would do in this case is maybe throw this there. Well, I don't even know. I really don't like drawing it like this because, well, I guess that's a minor violation. But anyway, you get above this downtrend line, that's, so much the better. So that'd be your main resistance now, getting above it, I would say. So
good deal. Well, let's see. Trevor Rooney wants to take a look at NEO. And guys, real quick, guys, on your request, make sure to specify whether you want it against the dollar pair or the BTC pair, because those can make differences. They can make a difference.
Well, I already had it set up for Bitcoin. I don't know when I did this one. That's weird. I had that up there for some reason. So it broke out, hit the 50, came up here. That might have been what I did. Or is it going to stall? Close and stall and just reverse. It's definitely, let me pull this up, definitely a pair of flags. You have some pre-up and it just, rejected by this 12 EMA, the 20, so it's, selling down. I'm not going to say it's going to sell off, but I'm trying to see something positive here, see something, well, I mean, that's definitely going to be a target.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because right here, that's the only thing holding it up right here, where you have these toothpicks, that's not a very good foundation.
No.
Unless you get, well, that might give you a little bounce right here. And then right there, and then the bottom, so you have 2 or 3 places. But hopefully it'll turn around. I don't know if there's any good news coming out about, NEO in the next little bit. But what they're supposed to be doing over there in that Asian market is, supposed to be pretty big.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's one worth keeping your eye on and, getting in on the breakouts and stuff. And then, speaking of that, just think positive. Okay, it breaks out. It gets over this little...
look look at this. Look, yeah, look at this over here. Look right in there. See that little doji? Almost like a hammer down here. Got a little wick coming out the bottom of it right there. I'm just going to borrow your chart.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about right here?
Yeah. So...
yeah, it looks like a reversal. But
it didn't quite get it on the next candle. And so that's why you got sellers pushing back in. Then you got your EMA here that's still driving it down. So those two EMAs, that's what you have to get past. So, you know, and that's one of the things, guys, is that, you know, when you see something like that, do you want to try to be a knife catcher? You know, some people are. Some people think that's the bottom based on whatever TA they see. But you can't just look at something like that and go, okay, well, I'm getting in. You got to have more to go off of than just guessing, right? That doesn't work. And don't listen to the hype. Don't listen to all that crap that's on Twitter about, oh, it's going to the moon and blah, 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 blah. Come up with good reasons why you're taking a position and then back your position. You know, and always be disciplined as far as like, okay, if it gets below this point, then I'm out. And you can't worry about if it's going to, you know, drop after you know, or go higher if you get out, right? That's what trading is about. You know, you can't sit there and dwell on one trade and go, okay, well, darn, it stopped me out and then it goes higher. You cannot think that way, guys. I'm just telling you. You have got to just put it away and move on to the next one and trust that what you learn is right. Because I'll promise you, over the long term, you will be thankful for that. Okay? Always have your stops. Always have your plan ahead on your trades. Where do you want to get out? Where do you want to just get out? You know, and have stop losses. So that's what you have to think about. So that's just I'm on my you know, soapbox here, but I'm just trying to help, guys. So okay, so Joe, that's we got NEO. Let's take a look at ZIL versus the dollar.
Okay, I'm just going to do the next. Okay, next.
Yeah, not a lot of info to go off there, is there?
Yeah, and you know, that's new to the game. You know, just a couple of weeks. You know, not very long. It's hard to see anything on that, to be honest. But you know, I mean, there's always a way to trade some. You know, well, even the hourly, there's enough volume, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, here's what Dairyman said. They had bad news today. Their main net launch is being pushed back from Q3 to either end of year or January 2019. He's curious to know where the bottom may be to buy back in. He said it's his biggest bag, but he sold it all today and looking for a re-entry.
Man, that's what I would have done. Yeah. Okay. You say for. Geez, I mean, it's hard to. I mean, if it was like, let me see, let me show you something here. Okay, here's Facebook. Okay, it got up here, you know, pushing up from the high, you know, mid 2015, 16, something like that. Then, you know, had a quarter report that came out that, you know, didn't like, Wall Street didn't like, so it dropped. And then this candle right here kind of gave you an indication. Well, first of all, it bounced off this gap. I thought it was going to go through the gap and then come out here to 160. So I would have totally blown that if I was trying to catch it. But an indicator that it was doing a nice reversal. It took up 3 days here of trading. It took up 3 days plus it bottomed out on the top of that gap fill.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a safe bet to have gotten in there. Then you probably would have gotten a little scared here, at least I would have, because that's indecision, this doji here.
Absolutely.
But today, I don't know what the news was. I could care less, but something, you know, pushed it up pretty good. Now the next place is going to have, the reason I'm going through that, I know you're interested in crypto, I'm just saying this kind of like a chart school thing. You know, down because that had a big sell-off too. But you had enough room here, you know, chart room, you know what I'm saying, compared to the other one that we just looked at, to kind of make a judgment. And even with that, you know, I missed about $10 as I was thinking it was going to come down here and, you know, fill that gap. You know, that's what I was. Anyway, I'm still kind of mad about that. But anyway, not that I had any money in the game. I just like to play these charts and guess what they're going to do.
Yeah. Now,
I would tell you just to, I'd hold off till close to the first year. When you start seeing, like, on the chart, that stuff going sideways, let me see if I can find one. Yeah, Apple right here. See, you start seeing it going sideways, it's going to make a move one way or the other. And speaking of some of these high dollar stocks, I mean, big name stocks, Apple, it traded, if you got in last year, November, December, first of the year, you're kind of in a break even, kind of underwater here for a minute, level for several months. And then just in May, has it taken off? And then it took off on that not good quarter report, earnings report, the other day. So, you know what I'm saying? Even these big, huge billion-dollar companies you can be in sideways consolidation and, not going anywhere, and you're, kind of flustered, even though, years past, you know what I'm saying? That's a pretty good little move up.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this is indicative of what we're going to see in cryptos. Just churn. They're not going to have quarterly reports, earning reports, stuff like that, but they're going to have news come out. And that news, since it trades 24/7, you're not going to have the gaps. That's going to be the biggest. Jared, have you found that to be the biggest? I don't know if I like that or don't like that, but you can generally play these gap plays for what it's worth. But in cryptos, and it's 24/7, it's all smooth pretty much. You don't have these gap ups overnight or anything. So anyway, that's another conversation.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go back over to ZIL for a second, and this I'm going to throw up the Bitcoin pair on ZIL. And so here's kind of what I see. And I've drawn some fibs in here, but I went back to this area over here, which was resistance before it made its huge move up. That is now support, which it's sitting on top of. You've also got the 261.8 retracement right below it, and you got the lower Bollinger Band. So if that area can hold, then... Oh, hang on, let me get Joe back. Sorry guys, getting Joe back here. Okay, there we go. So anyway, if you get this area to hold, and I'm not real confident about it, at least yet, because it got rejected off the 10 EMA, and you had a bearish engulfing candle right there. So is that a bull trap? That's what you have to watch for. Is that a bull trap? So, trying to get Joe back again. So that's what you have to watch for, Okay. Hope that helps.
Please leave your message.
Well, we'll wait for Joe to call back. He's obviously having some connection issues, but that's what I got on ZIL. All right, you there, Joe?
Oh, yeah, we're good.
All right, so that's what you got on ZIL, right? Those EMAs, you want to see those get, back above. You want to get it back above them. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Right now it's just kind of consolidating in this area a little bit, but I would not be taking a position just yet. You can always get back in when it starts to break these EMAs, right? So that's what I've got on ZIL. Okay, so who's next? Who's got any questions? Yeah, C for Crypto said, Deep State is trying to censor you, Joe. Yeah, there's higher forces at work here.
I push over that for
And guys, I'm sorry. Forgive the noise, but I've got the people mowing the yard and weed eating and all that crap, so they'll be done shortly. But forgive the noise.
Man, you must be doing good, cryptos, and having a lot of crew out there. I'm impressed.
Nah, it was just too thick this time, and I didn't want to do it myself.
No, I hear you. Well, there were someone was asking about a plus D, and it just kind of treading water here. You know, much downtrend like everybody else, treading water, kind of no man's land. I mean, there's nothing to look at on this side of the chart. So, you know, hopefully it holds that level. I mean, it has for a little bit here, you know, since we've been in August, but hopefully it holds a level and from there.
Does anybody else have any questions or charts you want to look at? I mean, we still got a little bit of time here, so if you guys have any questions or chart requests, please bring them up. We are here to serve.
Okay. Well, what I might do now, Joey, you know my story. I might go ahead and hand the baton back off.
I'm sorry, say again, Joe. I couldn't hear you.
I might let you go ahead and, you know, take it from here.
Sure, absolutely.
On that stuff.
Okay.
See where we go. And then, yeah, I'll be touching base with you on that. I'm glad everybody could come out and you know, spend a few minutes with us now, you know, this stuff.
Absolutely. Well, Joe, we appreciate it, man. That's
oh, anytime, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, guys, you know, we want to thank you guys. I mean, I'm obviously going to stay on here for a little bit longer, and I'll look at some charts for you guys. But Joe, man, we sure appreciate it. We'll obviously be in touch here soon, and absolutely.
Yeah, I'll touch base.
All right, buddy.
Okay. See you in the room.
All right,
okay.
man. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and take over now. If you guys have any chart requests, or if you want to see what I've got and what I'm seeing, let's see. ETC pullback. Let me pull it up. All right. So again, if we're getting up to this area, which, you know, you got multiple fib numbers in this area, which I'm expecting to be resistance. So let me just do a little fib on it. Just want to do this. Hang on. All right. So if you go from this high, and let's just call it, let's say if it is the high right there, okay? Then let's just draw on some fibs and see what we got. Get that out of the way. 38.2, 23.6, 61.8, there. All right. And so what I'm looking for when I see stuff like this is what is going to meet where? What, you know, moving averages, fib numbers. You got price way above the Bollinger Band. So see how it closed above right here? This one is still above. And there's the high point of the Bollinger Band right there. So one would think, but I have seen this before, is that it can hit the bottom of this band and go a little higher. So could it get up here? It can, right? But I just don't see it sustaining itself there for very long. So where are we looking at for pullbacks? Well, obviously, let's look right here. Also, is that we got this top, right, coming across here. So I would say look at the, you know, I always tend to look at the 38.2 as a strong, like if something is really strong, it's going to bounce off that, right? And so by the time, you know, we'll see what happens tomorrow, but you got these EMAs trying to cross through right here. How far will they move up? Will they come up here to the 38.2 and try to hold it as support? Very possible. So on a pullback, that's going to be one of the areas you want to watch right there. And it could be just a quick pop and go. But You got your stochastic RSI, which is overbought, your regular RSI overbought. So just be aware, be careful. And if you're already in, just trail up a stop loss. You know, if you were lucky enough to get back in here, then maybe put your stop loss down here at the, 61.8. Back in this area. That way you're above, if it holds, you're going this way. Your stop is way back here and you just trail it up. So hopefully that makes sense. Any other questions? Chart requests? Anybody? Check back in on Cardano. So we're watching the TMA, or the EMA right here, the 10. See if that can hold, right? And the 38.2 retracement. That's what we're watching. Okay. Got a little doji here, which is indecision, right at resistance. So the best case scenario for Cardano, ADA, touch the 38.2 and bounce off of it. Hold it and bounce. Or you could come all the way back to the 61.8 and then bounce. My area for getting out is down here below 78.6, because if it breaks that, it's going to break that low and it's going lower. Just my opinion. Any other charts, guys? I will throw this out there. Bitcoin, and I know we covered it a little bit. But let me just throw it back over here. All right, so daily chart on Bitcoin. Okay, let me scroll this out a little bit. Uptrend line, holding at support, which was old resistance, now new support. Trend line, we need to get above the 10 EMA, period. We got to hold this area. Okay? I mean, it could dip just a little bit below it or wick a little bit below it, but I don't want to see a candle close below it. Candle close below, we go down here, more than likely, and then retest the lows. So that is Bitcoin. Let me throw this back over here, and we're taking a look at XLM, Stellar. Okay. I think I had that one in here at one point. Let me take a look. Yep. Do that again. All right, so let's see what we got. So we got a 78.6 retracement down here. We've got an old area of support back in here, or resistance, which now is support. Okay. You've got that little area. Let me throw it up there. All right. So you got this little area right here that's support. Has to hold it. Okay, RSI is still down at the bottom, but it's been there for a while. It just kind of pops above and then goes right back down. So what's happening right now, and this is just something to keep in mind for tomorrow. Well, actually, this is a 4-hour chart, my bad. So keep an eye on this. Possible reversal pattern here. You got the big doji hammer, and then you're trying to get a bounce off that. Again, has to get through the EMAs. Okay? That's the key. It's got to get through the EMAs. Okay? And I'll just throw on, let's do this. Let's just do a fib retracement from here to here. All right. And look where it's bumping its head right now. It's bumping its head on the 38.2 retracement. Okay? Needs to get above the 50 and the 61.8. And once it does, then you can go and attack, you know, the 100 and the 50. Okay, you got the 50 EMA, which is screaming down. That's going to be resistance at some point. But for a trade, watch this reversal pattern, see if it plays out. And not only that, but you're getting a divergence here. It's a small one. Okay, it's a small one. You've made lower price and a higher indicator so far. Okay, let's wait. We still got 2.5 hours before this candle closes out. So if the stock RSI can hold right here, then you got a possible divergence. So something to keep in mind. And I'm going to save that chart. Okay, any other charts, guys and gals? Yes, that was a 4-hour chart. Let me do it. I'll throw it up on a daily real quick. There we go. Okay, and here's just one more thing, okay, and this is a teaching lesson, so to speak, but when you get moving averages like this, and you get the turn, okay, the EMAs are out of whack, right? So you got the 10 that was on top of the 20 and price dropping. So what you almost want to see now is the 10 EMA get below it, which it's trying to. Once that happens, that's when you keep an eye on stuff as far as a reversal. Okay, once the EMAs start lining up in order, then you can start watching for a reversal. When they're out of whack and they're all over the place, like the 10 is above the 20, but the 50 is below this or that, they're out of whack, so to speak. So right here is what we're watching. We want to see when that gets below that, then price normally will revert back to the moving average to test it. But right now it's holding on to the, you know, this support line back in here, and it needs to get back above the 50 EMA. That bullet or bearish engulfing candle right there, that's concerning, okay? And the 50 EMA being resistance is concerning. So things to watch. Now, of course, when you look down here, and this is another teaching lesson, just because a stock RSI or a regular RSI is oversold, that does not guarantee a bounce. Look at this. So stock RSI has just been flatlining for the last few days, and what's happened to price? Okay, you want to wait until you start to see a little bit of, you know, a cross or a move up before you want to take your position. Regular RSI is down here. It's weak. So wait for a sign of strength. Don't try to be a knife catcher. I mean, I know it takes a lot of patience, folks, but you've got to pick your spots. Okay? You just can't throw your money at something and hope it goes up. Oh, good. Good, Sheila. Yeah. Yeah, keep an eye on those. Keep an eye on this area right here, because if that fails, it's coming down to the 78.6, and that's a pretty decent drop. Okay, good deal. Yep, no knife catching in this business. Now, if you get a nice, strong reversal off something, sure. You know, or if you start hitting fib numbers and clusters and things of that nature, then you can take a calculated risk, but you have to have your stop loss in place. Okay? Because there's not a lot of people that are going to be able to pick every bottom. There's just no way. All right. Any other chart requests? Any questions? Anybody got any questions about charting or fibs or EMAs, anything? How do you put the fibs on? Okay, so let's do this. And let's just use XLM, for example. Okay? And I'm just going to clear everything off this, fib-wise. Oops. Let's see. All right, and let me go back over here because the 4-hour had that on there. Get those off. Okay, so let's just say, for example, you're on and I'll just say a 4-hour chart, okay? And so basically you use your tool over here for where it says fib retracement. And I use Coinigy only because I like it better. But it's going to be the same area as TradingView, right up in here, okay? And so you're going to use fib retracement. And so what we're going to do is, for like a longer term, you know, support area, let's just, down here at this swing low, okay, which is back here, click on that, and then run it up to the high. And then click on that. Then you're going to take your, you know, your mouse and you're going to move it onto one of those fib retracements, because obviously price has broken below. So you're going to right click on that and you're going to go format. Then you're going to move this out of the way a little bit so you can see what you're taking out. And you're going to take out the 38.2, take out the 50, take out the 61.8. And then you always want to leave your 127.2 and your 161.8 in there. So click OK. And there's a fib number for you. Okay. Now what you can do is you can also take this swing low to this swing high. So let's go take a look and see what happens here. Swing low, swing high, because it's in a retracement, right? And lo and behold, let's see, let's click on this, format. It broke the 78.6. Let's click OK. And so, lo and behold, what do we got? We got a 127.2 retracement right here on top of this support line. That's why it's bouncing a little, okay? So you always want to use your fibs to, and you can draw multiple fibs. That's how I get clusters. And when I see something with clusters, that just lets me know it's a huge area of support. So let's do it again. And don't be afraid to try this, guys. I mean, just, you know, take your fibs and just play around with them. You know, draw this to this. Okay. Nothing really lines up there. It's still the 127.2. But you got the 161.8 just below it. And then let's take that out. I forgot to do that. That was on an old one. Okay. But you want to play around with your fibs until you get like, and you've seen it on my charts, clusters. Right? When you get multiple fibs or support areas lining up in the right way, that's an area of support. Huge. Or resistance. It works both ways. Okay? So those are things to watch out for. Now, on fibs, what you have to do is you have to make sure that if it breaks a level, you take it out. Okay? Otherwise, it's just going to mess up your chart and it's going to look messy. You know, if it starts breaking below areas, just get rid of it. It's gone, right? And so that's what I tend to do. I always look at like all the fibs and try to pick spots where I see swing low, swing high, swing low, swing high. And just draw them from there because price gravitates toward it. Did that help any, Sheila? How I did that? Do I need to slow it down or do you want me to redo it? And by the way, you know, you guys can always go back and watch this again. And what I'll do, and I promise I keep forgetting about it, but and it's going to be coming up on the website, so I'll be forced to do it. But I'll be doing some training videos. But I am such a perfectionist that if I start doing something and halfway through it I screw it up, then I have to go back and start it all over again. So, but anyway, that's kind of what I got on fibs, you know. And you just, basically, you guys, you just put it all together. EMAs, fibs, you know, Bollinger Bands. And Sheila, you said you use Bollinger Bands? Yeah, and that's why I never threw Bollinger Bands on my charts a lot, because people would tend to get confused and they're like, well, what is this? What is that? You have to start out at the bottom, okay, and start learning from there before you start throwing a bunch of stuff on your charts. It'll just confuse you. So start with the simple stuff, moving averages and Fibonacci. That's a good starting point. Once you learn those, then you can start looking at other stuff, Bollinger Bands and how they work and why they work, you know. So don't try to mess up your chart too much or get it too cluttered. You know, price action is everything. So all right, so that's what I've got on XLN. Any other questions? Charting questions? Or chart requests? Okay, so you don't have the moving averages. Okay, do you want the moving averages? Do you want me to show you how to put those on there? Hey, Vaughn, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Okay, so let's do this. Well, let's just keep it on XLM, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out all the moving averages that I've got, and then I'm going to start from scratch. All right, so on your trading view chart, and it's going to be real similar to Coinigy, but where you can go, and I'm not sure if you've got, you know, sometimes on TradingView it limits you to the indicators you can have. So I don't know if you've purchased the plan where you can buy more indicators or not. One of the reasons I use Coinigy, and it's about, I think it's like 15 to 20 bucks a month. But I can throw unlimited indicators, and I do not have that stupid message that asks me if, you know, if I want to upgrade or whatever. I just pay the monthly fee and I can add whatever I want. But regardless, on your trading view, somewhere up the top here, you can see where it says indicators. Okay. And you can click on this. Now on your moving averages, since you've got a limit and it's free, then you're only going to be allowed to add maybe 3 or 4 EMAs on there. Okay, so you get 3 indicators. So on your EMAs, you're basically going to go and look for, just type in moving average or moving, and it'll pop up. Moving average exponential, okay, is what you're after. And then once you click on it, okay, you're not going to see anything pop up right back here, but you have to look really closely because it's going to put it in blue. And depending on the background that you have your chart set on, it can be hard to see. But go in there and click on it, and then you want to right click and you want to format. And then basically you just make this whatever color you want to. Now I prefer to use it as a lighter color. And then I want to move this, which is the width of the moving average, right there. So I can see it, right? And then you basically come over to your inputs and you change whatever's in there. It's going to be, every time you pull it up, it's always going to be a 9, right? So just make it a 10. And then click OK. Okay? And there's your 10 EMA. And then you want to just repeat the process for your 20 and your 50. I would say those are probably the 3 that you would want to have in there. Okay? And if you ever upgrade, then you can start adding the 100, the 200. You can add those 2. But if you're only, you know, swing trading and whatnot, keep it simple and just go with the 10 and the 20 and the 50. You know, those are the 3 you need. And then when you start, you know, getting into longer term stuff, you can add the other ones. So, but that's how you format it. You know, basically you just select the moving average, which is exponential, and then you go in and format it and make it the number that you want, and the color and the width. So what I'll do is I'll just go back in and I'll reload my XLM chart. And this is the other thing I like about Coinigy is that, you know, I'm going to minimize this, but I can go over and pull up any exchange I want to and all the coins that are in them, right? It is so cool. And I can pull up GDAX, which is what I use to chart Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. But again, I mean, if you guys can't afford it, obviously TradingView, you know, is free. So, you know, that's what you can start out with, you know. But I think Coinigy actually has like a trial version or something that you can try. So you may want to look into it, you know, and just see if you like it. And if you don't, then obviously you just go back to TradingView. All right, I hope that helped. Any other questions? Charting questions? Chart requests? And by the way, guys, I know there's a little bit of a delay here. Patrick, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Just trying to help everybody, all the newbies. I was there once before too, so I know how it feels. Oh, Sheila, you are welcome. Yeah. Love to help. Love to help out, no doubt. And this is what's nice is that, you know, it's a great time to learn. I mean, if there was any time to ever learn, it's in a bear market, right? I mean, because things aren't really just taking off to the moon just yet. You can sit here and kind of watch this as it develops, and you still have time to learn all this. And then before things really start getting fun and crazy and whatnot, then you know what to look for, you know. All right. Any other chart requests or chart questions or anything like that? Speak up. Do not be afraid. There is no such thing as a stupid question. I learned that a long time ago. Oh, wow. Yeah. I know, right? Everybody thinks that once they see that, you know, high price, they just think it's going to keep going up. You know, it's a lesson that you will never forget. I promise. You will always look back on it, and you know. But at the same time, you have to look at it and say, okay, lesson learned. But I'm not going to let it just decide everything. You know. There's going to be times when things will go parabolic. They'll go through the roof or whatever. But if you're in them at the right time and they do that, I think what some people will probably find out is they're so trained into what's going on right now is that, you know, prices are going down. You know, you get a little bit of a pop and then everybody's trained to think, okay, well, it's not going to go any higher. And then the minute it starts selling off, then you get scared, and then it starts to pop a little bit, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to hang on, and it goes lower. And then eventually, at some point, a bear market will end, and somebody's going to get fooled on that move a lot. They're going to say, okay, well, I'm not falling for that trap anymore. And then all of a sudden, you get that move, and you're like, oh, crap. And so the trick to that, and what you're trying, you know, what I'm trying to teach is that you don't have to FOMO into something, right? I've seen too many people get stopped out of something and then the price reverses and so they feel like they have to get right back into it. No, you don't. Be patient. You know, it's not like it's going back to the moon or whatever. You got stopped out for a reason, and you have to pick your spots. And you have to trust what you're doing. You know, I think Peter Brandt said it best. He said, you know, and he's a great technician. He's a great trader, but he said it best. He said, I only get 50% of the calls that I make right. So he's wrong 50% of the time, but it's how he manages his trades, right? So if you get into something, you know, you want to have a stop loss where it doesn't take you out of the ball game. Okay? Protect your capital is basically what it's about. All right? And then when you get that pop, just make sure, don't be afraid to sell and make 10%. Okay? What's wrong, or 10 or 20? Don't sit there and wait for 1,000% gain or 400. Okay? Manage your trade. Don't sit there and expect the moon on everything you get into. Just baby steps. You know, take that 10% profit if it hits it. Take it at 5%. But limit your downside to 1 or 2%. Right? So you may have a couple of trades that go against you, but if you're gaining it back on that 10% gainer, then you come out ahead. Right? That's what's called staying in the ball game. Okay? I think I've seen too many people over the years that think something is going to go to the moon and they put everything into it and it just turns, you know. I mean, nothing goes straight up. Everything will retrace. It's going to come back and it's going to hit certain spots. And that's where you pick whether you want to get in or out. You have to look at your charts and just trust what you're doing, you know. And you'll know when you're looking at this stuff whether you're doing it right or not. Okay? I mean, I don't get everything right. There's no way. If I was getting everything right, I would be on an island right now. But I don't. But I'm still in the game, right? Managing trades. And those are things that I'll go over like in future videos. You know, as far as where you can get in, what to look for, like exit strategies. And I've preached this a lot, and probably until I'm blue in the face. When you enter a trade and you've got your stop loss set where you want it, then what you want to do is you want to take, like if it starts to go up and it doesn't hit your stop loss, pick a spot or a Fibonacci retracement somewhere that you're going to take out enough that, you know, possibly covers your original investment, okay? And then a little bit of profit. And then you can let that other stuff, the free shares, ride, okay? Or if you're comfortable that it's going to dip down lower, you can add to your position. But never ever be afraid to take profits, and take them quickly, especially in a bear market. Now, in a bull market, you just buy and you hold. That's, you know, that's pretty much the way that works. But right now, you're in a bear market, and so you want to take your profits fairly quickly. Okay, any other questions? Anything about charts, chart requests? All right, so once again, for those that didn't get it, and I'll post it on Twitter as well. But here is the link to our Telegram channel. Okay? That's the discussion channel, right? Where there's a lot of general talk. And then I'm going to post you where we do the charts. Let me get that up real quick. All right, so there's the links for the Telegram. And so, okay, Sheila, have a good one. Appreciate you coming in. All right, so there's the links to the Telegram channels. If anybody wants to join, we'll obviously put it on Twitter as well, but and a website coming soon. So if there's no other chart requests or questions about charts, I'm going to give it about 10 seconds to see if anybody responds, and then I'm going to call it a night on the live stream here. Second link is not working. Okay, well, Sheila, when you get into the first one, I will send you an invite to the second one. And then I'll also give you a link to the calls channel where we make our calls at. All right, folks, if that's going to be it, I'm going to call it a night, at least on the live stream. I'll be around on Twitter and in the Telegram channel. So if you have any questions, let me know. Sure appreciate everybody coming in, and we'll chat soon. Later.